Gardener time. Welcome to Mid-American Gardener. Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you'll learn lots as we find out what the viewers have as questions, and we're going to do some show and tell. Hi, I'm Diane Nolan, and I teach horticulture at the University of Illinois. I do cut flowers as well as perennials, and so I'll answer some of those questions, but we've got three really intelligent folks here with me, and let's find out what their expertise is, and they'll be answering some emails, and then we'll go to viewer questions. Okay, Mark Kemp, let's start with you first.
Hello, my name is Mark Kemp, and I'm a landscape architect. I could specialize in perennials, shrubs, trees, and just kind of general design.
Sounds good. And if you want to go ahead and do an email, that'd be great.
Okay. I have an email from someone from the Fox Valley area who is having trouble with squash bugs. It's attacking their zucchini plants, and they're kind of wanting a approach on how to control them. The squash bug is going to go from egg to adult in like 4 to 6 weeks. So the key in controlling them is go out and scout them like on a daily basis because they mature very quickly. When you find the eggs on the underside of the leaf, they'll kind of be in a V pattern. You want to get those off the plant and out, and then they'll move to a nymph stage and then an adult. You can use insecticidal soaps to kind of control them, but the best way is to kind of find them and just destroy them. You can smash them, get rid of them that way. But scouting regularly, because they do fly, they're a beetle, and so they can come from your neighbor's yard. It does say in here the neighbor does not have problems, but that doesn't mean that there's a cure over there. So just kind of constant vigilance on checking your plants and just getting rid of them as they come. One suggestion is to put like boards around your garden, and they will seek the underside of the board for shelter and warmth. So each day you can go out, lift the boards, find different bugs, and kind of dispose of them that way.
Scouting, that was such a good tip.
Yeah.
Because people should be scouting everything all the time.
Yeah, you can't just go out once in spring and think you have them, in check.
But we can call it enjoying our garden at the same time.
Yes.
But you're looking for things. Well, very good. Thank you, Mark. And that was a good question. All right, let's move to the middle. Hi there, Mary Ann Metz. What you got for us?
Good evening. I am a horticulturalist and landscape designer, and I'm also a gardener. And I have a show and tell this evening. I would like to share, winter is such a hard time of year, but I would like to share some color and texture I found out and about in January. This is amazing. The first thing I have are some Japanese maples. These are small branches of Japanese maples. Acer japonicum, different varieties. This is Sengokaku, which is the coral bark maple. This is a variety that, I actually forget the name, but the base of the stem is green, and as it goes towards the tip, it becomes more rosy. And one that's just a chartreuse green bark. Bark is wonderful in the wintertime. And one of the best barks I can think of is the cornus or dogwood shrubs, and certainly the red twig, which a lot of people have. Different shades of red, really interesting. Burgundies, bright reds, but there's some others on the market too. There's the beautiful yellow twig cornus, and a newer variety, Sunjoy, I believe it's called. We can see it's almost coral at the base. That would be towards the inside of the plant, and towards the outer edges of it, it gets kind of a rosy red. I think that's just stunning. And if you see a large bush of these, it's really a big impact. And berries are a wonderful thing in the wintertime. This is an ilex or holly. Certainly the evergreen foliage, which is broadleaf, and just creates its own texture that's glossy and very pretty, but also the red berries, just wonderful. And I believe the birds pretty much like those too. And more berries, the junipers, the bluish, whitish berries on a juniper, and the texture of this juniper is just lovely. But the berries also add a lot of interest. Another juniper, quite different from the one I just had up, but this is a creeping juniper, or a rug juniper, blue rug, and you can see in contrast with the green, just really quite a different color. And then, a plant that I absolutely love, it's very popular right now, Chamaecyparis or false cypress. This is the variety called Mops. Very yellow this time of year, just
Repeat the
love
variety
this.
name.
Mops is the
Mops.
variety name, yes. Chamaecyparis or false cypress. But just beautiful and a wonderful texture. Just kind of, it just looks soft, yellow soft, which is really nice. And this is a Thuya or arborvitae, and this is a small globe form one. And this is its natural winter color. It is not dying. This is just as supple as it can be. This is the natural winter color. Fire Chief, I believe, is the variety name there. And of course, you can't forget cedrus or cedar. This is a weeping blue cedar. And again, you can see the color difference from some of these others. But what a beautiful texture and color in the garden in the wintertime. So there's really quite a lot of color and texture in the winter garden. You just have to be aware of it or make it happen in your yard.
Select it.
Yes,
Put 'em
by
together.
planting the texture and color
Ooh, that was
all
a
year
good
round.
primer on things for the winter. Thank you, Mary Ann.
You're welcome.
All right, let's go to the person to my immediate left and Dr. Phil Nixon. Hi, Phil.
Hi, I'm an extension entomologist with the University of Illinois, which means I do bugs. And I have a viewer, Debbie, sent in a question, says, I have an Indian curry plant and I am seeing a white cocoon-shaped, very small fungus growing on the leaf buds in the stem. Plant is dying because of that and the leaves are falling. I have a plant inside my home and the disease is spreading. I remove a cocoon-shaped insects. I notice there is a worm, slimy substance inside the cocoon. What should I do to get rid of this? It's been going on for a year right now. I think probably what you have are mealybugs. Mealybugs are insects, soft-bodied sucking insects. They suck out the sap out of the plant and will cause leaves to drop and will cause the plants sometimes to wilt. They look like little white cocoons kind of on them, but they are full of a sticky liquid, and they can be controlled three different ways. One is that insecticide-wise, you can put imidacloprid into the soil. And there are three brand names that are out there that you can buy that are used for indoor plants. It'll be rated how much you apply to the size of a pot that you put it into, and that material will last for several months, goes up into the plant, and will kill the insects from the inside out. Another way, a long-standing method of controlling these insects is to take a Q-tip and dip it in rubbing alcohol, touch each individual insect with that rubbing alcohol. That will dry out and shrivel the individual insects. You do that on a weekly basis. When I've had them before on plants, I pick one day of the week and always do it that same day, because as the insects get big enough you can see them, you can then eliminate them before they get big enough to reproduce, so you don't have to start all over again. And finally, a third way is to just rub them off with your fingers. Your fingers get real sticky and gooey, but you're doing plants, it's fun.
And you know you're getting it, too.
And you know you got it, yeah, because it's all over your fingers. Yeah.
And, but you could do a combination of all of
Oh
those.
yeah, you can do a combination of those two, yeah.
But you got to keep on it.
You got to
just
keep
like
on it. Mm-hmm.
That, along with the scouting, you've got to keep going with that. Well, good. This was a very good primer of all of these things. Well, we're going to go next to a special Did You Know? All right, we always like to be learning things. Well, we're going to go to the phone lines, and we're going to start first with line 1, and it's about ash borer. Hi there, line 1.
Yes, I want to know what's the best way to protect your ash trees from the ash borer?
Okay, well first you need to be in an area in which emerald ash borer has been found within 15 miles of you. If you're farther away than that, it's really not worth the money to treat until it is close enough to really attack your trees. And many areas of the Midwest are not that close to known emerald ash borer. The most effective materials there is going to be triage, which is emamectin benzoate. This can only be applied by a landscaper or an arborist, a professional, and it's injected into your tree every other year, and that will provide high quality of control. do-it-yourself sort of applications, or also hiring it done, can be imidacloprid, sold as Merit and other brand names, that can be applied to the bare soil around your tree. That will last for a year. And the third product is Dinotefuran, sold as Safari to the professional. It also is available in a homeowner form, and that is sprayed on the bottom 4.5 feet of the trunk of a tree, and it will absorb into the bark. All of these are systemic. They work inside the tree and help protect the tree. The Safari or Dinotefuran is effective as well for a year after application.
Wow, it seems like there's a few more things to treat than when it first started.
Well, it's a
Sure.
new bug. The first time we found out about it in this country was 2002, and changes are happening very, very quickly with this,
Wow.
because we started out with 1 or 2 publications in Chinese as all we knew about it, and now there's hundreds of publications of research that's been done. So, you know, it's people say, well, how come you changed your mind? Well, we got new information. I'm a scientist. You take what the science is at the time, and you do the best you can. When the science gets better, you get better, and you change.
That's
You have to.
That is
It's important to
outstanding.
note too. I mean, that's to treat it if you have it, you know,
Right.
in your site. One of the best ways is to scout, make sure it's not in your area, and also not to like transport unknown origin of wood, like firewood from other areas. So you know, control, keep the pests from coming to your area, and then if you know, heaven forbid you do get it, then you know, obviously go to those means.
But firewood really did spread it.
Yes.
In this country at least.
They're not
so.
that mobile, so I mean, humans help carry it a lot further than you know it'd fly on its own.
Okay. Well, that was a good discussion on emerald ash borer. Well, let's kind of change gears, and we're going to go to line 2, and this is about a Christmas cactus. Hello there. Line 2.
Hello.
Yes, what's your question?
I have a Christmas cactus in the kitchen, and it's been in bloom. It's trying to bloom. I'm not sure what color it is, but it's been trying to bloom for like 2 weeks. Will it finally bloom, or am I doing something wrong with it?
When you say trying to bloom, are
well,
they?
it's beginning to open.
Oh, so it is. It just hasn't fully opened.
No, that's right.
Okay. Well,
It is kind of a progressive flower, and different buds open at different times. So it could be that it just takes time. That's a lot of growing different plants. It takes time for things to happen. But if it started the progress of opening up, I think if you just give it a little more time and the bright light, not overwatering it, because that's a way a lot of houseplants get killed is by overwatering, but occasional watering, and to avoid cool drafts. Christmas cactus, that'll make them drop their buds pretty quickly.
Yeah, if it's not going to bloom, you will find out very quickly, because as
Certainly.
Marianne just mentioned, the buds will drop off of it. So you'll know definitely it's not going to bloom if it's not going to make it.
Yeah,
that's what I thought was happening. So if it's still there, the buds,
and still trying, right?
and trying,
I would
it should
leave
be okay. And we've had enough bright light. It's just
Yes.
you don't want to get it too cold. Well, that was a good question, and I think a lot of people just overwater them too.
That
so
happens routinely, yes,
they're-
certainly.
They're very succulent.
Yeah.
So great. Well, thank you for that question. And let's then go to one about apple trees. And this one's on line 4. Hello there.
Hello. I've got an apple tree that's probably 40, 50 years old, and I'm wondering, can I cut that back? You know, it's just overgrown. It's never been trimmed or anything. Can I cut that back, and when can I cut that back, and how much?
First, that's a really old apple tree.
That is an old apple tree.
Yes.
And having never been pruned, it's going to take a lot of time to get it in shape.
I know.
Yeah, you're not going to do it all in one pruning.
Exactly.
You'd put it under too much stress at that point. But you know, it would be beneficial to go out in spring and take out some of the older, larger branches, open it up. That would you know, facilitate air movement through it.
It really is important to open up the canopy of the tree to allow air circulation,
Right.
and to allow the fruit to get light when it does come on in the summer. It's happens routinely that if there are too many branches, too many leaves, the fruit doesn't get enough light to develop and ripen right. So it might take several years.
But yeah, you could start with the oldest branches, the largest, go in, take those out, make sure you do clean, clean cuts. That way it can heal itself, and just open it up over time.
And winter is definitely the time to
Yeah.
prune.
Late winter.
And not too early in the winter. You might want to wait until into February when we're pretty sure we're not going to have some of the severe cold that we've had this year. Because actually when you prune, that wound is sensitive to cold. So you want to be careful about timing.
So just a little bit, start slow, and maybe it might be over 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, with that old of a
if
tree.
it's
it
not
might
been
be,
pruned before.
definitely.
Okay, very good question. Thank you so much. Well, now we're going to go back to the panel, and I think they're going to maybe an email or show and tell. Let's start with you, though, Mark. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I have a email from a viewer that has what I consider one of the easiest questions. What can be planted this fall? Obviously, it's a little bit past fall, but it's still a good time to think about adding perennials to your garden. They have tulips, iris, and daisies, which all bloom early. So after that time period, there's not much to their garden. There's countless perennials that you could extend that bloom time the entire season, especially if you have a large enough area. You could put dianthus, which would flower in pinks. In spring, you can do salvias, which are long blooming, late spring varieties. Coreopsis are summer, and they are one of the longest blooming perennials that you could do, and you can get those in reds and yellows. Coneflower is just enormous amount of flowers that you could find, different heights, different colors, and they just also bloom for quite a long time. So it's one of the easiest things. The suggestion would be just go out and explore your garden center, and you'll find plenty of choices. It won't be difficult.
And it's good to explore your garden center and gardens
Yes.
at the time that you need something in flower.
And ask your friends too, because they'll be dividing their perennials, and you
That's
can
good.
share them as well.
Very good. That was a good question. It was
Yeah.
covering a lot of bases. All right, Marianne, you're next.
Well, thank you. If I could just add one thing to
Sure.
that question.
We love that
There's-
question.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
In the fall, there's one perennial particularly that loves to be planted in fall. In fact, that is the time to do it, and that's peonies.
Yes.
That's it.
She gets a peony mention in every show. That's really
I
good how
try.
you do that, Marianne.
I try. My email question is, how long do ficus trees live? Also, where's the best place to advertise a very large ficus for sale? Well, that's kind of interesting. Ficus actually can live a very long time in their natural environment. We were just discussing ficus trees, and one of us have seen a ficus that was maybe over 100 feet canopy-wise, the width of the canopy, and I've personally seen ficus that have grown 90 or 100 feet tall. So that means that they probably live a very, very, very long time, outlive me probably. But in our homes, they don't live quite that long, I'm sure, because you don't have a pot big enough, first of all. But advertising one might be kind of an interesting venture, something like a internet advertisement, maybe Craigslist or something like that. But certainly the master gardeners are a wonderful place to start finding out where to move a plant to a new home.
Very good tip. Very good. Okay, thank you for that email, viewer. And now on to you, Phil.
Lynn writes in that says that she lives in a small community and has 16 ash trees been identified with the ash borer insect. We've been told by our lawn maintenance service that they can treat these insects at a rather substantial cost. Recently, I heard an expert gardener on your show telling another man that if the ash borer is in the trees, they will eventually be lost. Is this correct? We could plant several trees for the amount that we would be charged to treat the ones we have. You may be looking at a combination of a fact that you may want to consider. The idea that you have emerald ash borer is not a death sentence for the tree. We have some good insecticides, which I mentioned earlier in the show, that will be effective. And although nobody knows for sure that the trees will live for several decades with this treatment, since we've only known about the emerald ash borer in this country since 2002, we do not have 30 years of experience with this, obviously. But from all we can tell, we feel that if you treat the trees on a regular basis, associated with how long the insecticide would last, that you should be able to keep your trees alive. And the idea being that if you treat them for probably around 20 years, the other trees around in the area that were not treated will die out. The emerald ash borer only attacks ash trees, and so eventually the ash borer will die out as well if there's no trees to attack. And so that's what we're looking at. So if you do enter into a treatment phase, you do need to figure you're looking at a couple decades anyway of treatment. Cost-wise, if you have a fairly large tree, say a tree that has a diameter on the trunk of 20 inches or so, many of those are going to cost $800 to $1,000 to cut down and to remove. If you look at it from a purely cost basis, most treatments for emerald ash borer for a tree that size is going to be about $50 a year, no matter what you do. $50 times 20 years is $1,000 as well. So at the end of 20 years, you spent $1,000 if you cut the tree down, you've spent $1,000 if you saved it. It kind of comes out about the same. If you have 16 trees, you probably want to maybe do some sort of in-between thing. You may want to remove some of those trees, you may want to try to save some of those trees, and maybe even save some of the trees for a few years while you grow up some smaller trees to take the place of the big trees that you cut down. There's all sorts of combinations here that you can consider, but the idea that this Scott emerald ash borer is a death sentence, it is a death sentence if you don't treat it, but you can save the trees, we feel.
Very good. Interesting how we're getting quite a few things on emerald ash borer. Okay, well, we want to go to the little mag quiz next. Are you ready? That is a large flower. Okay, let's go to the phone lines, and we're going to go to line 3, and it's about zebra grass. Hi there, line 3.
Yeah, this is Bob.
Hi.
I'd like to talk about my zebra grass. I got some that's growing good, and some of it ain't growing good in the center. I heard you could dig it up and then put dirt back in it, potting soil, and then it'll rejuvenate again. And how long do you cut it down before spring, or now, or you wait till spring and cut it back 6 inches?
Okay, good questions. Now, who wants to start in? I think everyone's probably...
Yeah, everybody could. Typically, I like to leave the ornamental grasses through the winter because it's, as she pointed out, it is a winter interest. You get some, beige coloring, it's movement in the winter. So I tend to prune them or cut them down in spring. It also kind of keeps them from snow packing in them and getting other problems, but that's kind of how I'd address the pruning part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good time.
And then the inside part dying out.
Yeah,
Let's address that.
I think that's a common thing to have
Yes.
happen with
It
miscanthus,
is.
and the zebra grass is a miscanthus. You can dig the whole plant up and cut it into sections and have a lot of new plants that take a few years to develop again. That would probably be the best approach, or digging up half of it, leaving what you have so that it is just it looks like a single crown instead of a donut, and moved on to other places. I think if you're going to put something into the planting site, I wouldn't put potting soil. I would put something like organic material or some soil from some other place in your yard.
It's going to be a very tough plant, so
Yes.
It's a natural occurrence. It naturally will do that. So digging it up, cutting it half or sections, and putting one of them back in your natural soil is the best approach to kind of replanting that. And then, as I pointed out before on the question, you could give the other half to a friend or a neighbor, and they could grow it as well. So.
And they could be divided many,
Yep.
many more times,
Many
too.
times, yeah.
A
And
sharp
mulch-
spade, just splitting it down, and you don't have to be gentle. It's pretty tough.
And there's all kinds of ways of cutting it back, too. I know people actually tie the tops and,
Yes.
and use all kinds of pruning pruning saws, whatever.
Power saws
One of the
help.
best uses for electric hedge trimmers is
Yes,
to cut those out.
exactly. That's exactly right.
That was trying to come to me, but I don't have one of those, so I couldn't think of what it was. But then it keeps all the debris, it's tied together in
place,
one
right.
place. And don't do it on a windy day.
Right.
It's just not that I have recently.
Recently.
Mulch is also a good idea for it, and also in the middle
sure.
and around the edge. So there's a lot to be done with ornamental grasses, so we enjoyed that question quite a bit. But you don't really want to cut them back too soon, because you do want to enjoy them in the winter. So, but anyway, we have enjoyed having you folks with us, and we learned so much, and it seems like our viewers are so interesting and knowledgeable too. So we're glad for that. We thank you for being good viewers. Well, thank you three for being here. I appreciate it. We want to talk about gardening, so hopefully we can get out and garden, or at least think about it indoors. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.